Good evening. Do not attempt to adjust your radio. There is nothing wrong. We have taken control as to bring you this special show. We will return it to you as soon as you are grooving. Welcome to station WEFUNK, better known as We Funk, or deeper still, the Mothership Connection, home of the extraterrestrial brothers, dealers of funky music, P-Funk, Uncut Funk, the bomb.
Coming to you directly from the mothership, top of the chocolate Milky Way. 100,000
WEFUNK, We Funk, home of the extraterrestrial brothers and sisters, dealers of funky music, P-Funk, Uncut Funk, the bomb.
Hi, I'm Elia Einhorn. Welcome to the Talkhouse Music Podcast. Here at the Talkhouse, we pair notable musicians for thoughtful, unmoderated conversations and release new talks each week. Regular listeners will have caught recent episodes like Thundercat with Kamasi Washington or DJ Shadow with Clams Casino. Check out these and all of our past episodes and subscribe to get new ones on Stitcher or iTunes. Our guests today are George Clinton and house music duo Soul Clap. George Clinton needs little introduction. For the past 5 decades, this man has shaped the sound of funk music and inspired generations of rappers and singers. The Rock and Roll Hall of Famer behind P-Funk and the nexus of its two main groups, Parliament and Funkadelic, has also collaborated with Tupac Shakur, Prince, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Snoop Dogg, Outkast, Kendrick Lamar, and dozens of other notable artists. The king of interplanetary funksmanship, aka Dr. Funkenstein, aka George Clinton, is a hugely unique and creative musical legend. Eli Goldstein and Charles Levine met in high school and formed the DJ production duo Soul Clap in 2001. Their sound is based in house music, but doesn't shy away from incorporating other genres, including funk. They state that their paths were crossed for all time when a Sun-Ra light beam sent from Saturn collided with a P-Funk mothership and sent them tumbling to Earth. Now Soul Clap time travels on a musical spaceship of dopeness. So you can see they're really into George Clinton. The guys even named their debut album E-Funk. Soul Clap worked with Clinton on 2 songs on Funkadelic's 2014 album First You Gotta Shake the Gate, as well as a Soul Clap Funkadelic collabo EP. Soul Clap and Clinton sat down before the latter's Halloween Funkdown show at BB King's in New York City. Inspired by the day, they talk about Clinton's costumes and style, but also cover their past and future collaborations, fishing, and George Clinton's upcoming record with Flying Lotus. Buckle up for this extra short, extra funky episode.
The looker and the seer don't always agree. Let it be.
Record. 1, 2, 3, check. Seems like it's working. All right, what's up? My name is Charlie from Soul Clap.
I'm Eli.
And we're sitting here with none other than George Clinton.
I've been defleed, detected, I got my rabies shot, and I'm ready to bury the bone once more time.
So we're in New York City at BB King's.
It's Halloween.
It is Halloween, and
Oh, that's why everybody's so scary.
what do you think? Let's talk about Halloween. What do you think about Halloween?
Boo.
Boo.
I think about Casper and shit. Sheets and shit.
Can you remember like any super epic Halloween costumes that like come to mind?
Well, we used to do Halloween, 365 days a year.
Yeah.
We wore costumes, so it was that rarity when we wasn't in costume that I thought about Halloween.
So that's kind of how I feel about it too. Like when you're in the entertainment and doing costumes and
You're
shows.
always dressed up
always
as
dressed up.
something,
But I think that's one of the things that's really memorable about the musical world that you come from is really putting an effort to wear really amazing costumes and
Especially in this, last part of the 60s going into the 70s. We was coming out of one costume, which we thought was slick and cool, and went into another costume, which was barely nothing. From a diaper, a sheet, to wearing totally nude.
I remember reading in your
That was scary.
I remember reading in your biography you wrote that that like when you guys were coming, you guys were wearing tuxedos, but the guys in the band when you went to start doing the Funkadelic and just being like, ragtag and like wearing like, Salvation Army.
Whatever. Oh yeah, it blew people's mind. what the fuck happened? We couldn't keep our ties alike.
Yeah.
You know, suits would never press. That's why that get depressing, you know. So it's plus it was hip to be ugly.
Yeah.
All of a sudden that became the very hip thing to do. Get you a pair of jeans and put a patch on it that said, fuck you. And you was cool. And I mean, you was high fashion. So that became really easy. And we went straight into it and wore that out until the mothership came. When the mothership landed, it demanded that we had on costumes to match the it demanded that we had on costumes to match the spaceship. So we had, you know, leather suits, $10,000 coats, and we had to look like we was pimps from outer space. The bling was on, so we went that direction.
This is the Parliament.
Yeah, that was Parliament. That was the mothership, and it carried over when Funkadelic came out. That time it would have been One Nation. We went back. We called it the anti-tour. We went back into the fatigues, you know, and all.
What year was that?
That would have been 78. So we went back into the, you know, retarded. We called it the anti-tour.
But that was like, because Funkadelic, my understanding was there was a lot of like response to Vietnam and anti-war.
But that's what I'm saying. We went back 78, but we went back to that. When Funkadelic got, you know, One Nation Under the Groove, it was easy. Plus we had been on the limelight for the last 3 years with Parliament Mothership. You know, so it was easy to like say, let's take a break, you know.
Yeah.
We couldn't buy no more costume. We went underwater at the same time with Parliaments, which was a highly theatrical concept. You couldn't very well wear the fish around the street, but you know, and we had a few octopuses.
Well, we'll jump in there. So fishing is one of your there's like a lot. There's a lot we're trying to squeeze in this small period of time, but fishing is one of your great hobbies. I'm wondering if you have any records of like large fish. You ever do big fish, or do you like little fish? Talk about fishing.
I caught a marlin about 350 pounds. My ex-wife Stephanie caught one about 370.
Wow.
Marlin. So we caught some big fish. You know, we caught some seriously big fish, but in the 200 and 150, you know, we caught a lot of that. Sharks and walleyes and wahoos. And caught a bunch of sharks not too long ago.
How does your passion for fishing relate to your thoughts about vision?
They go hand in hand. The rhythm of vision is a dancer. So when I would go fishing, I would always be thinking of songs that I was going to write. You know, I would always be, especially like when I went to Maui, you know, all of that Bootsy, Munchies for Your Love and Telephone Bill and all of that. That was basically that Hawaii tranquil, chill out type of thing.
Eli's about to go to Hawaii coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I want another question. When you catch a fish and you pull it out of the water, do you look at it in the eye? Do you say you shouldn't have bit fish?
I feel sorry for, but you shouldn't have bit fish. You know, I mean, I'm fishing and you the fish. He's a worm. That's a hook. You know, the sinker, the bobber, they all go together.
So just let's bring it to like 2000s. Where's 2016? If I can remember correctly. Sometimes I get a little confused. When we were collaborating, it was for the Funkadelic, which had been Shake the Gate, which had been 33 years.
Yeah.
Now I hear you're in the studio. Well, I know because I was talking to Ricky Tan, and we sent some music down for you to listen to, some stuff that we worked on with you, some stuff with Danny Bedrosian on it, but there's a body of music when you get back to Tally. Maybe me and Eli are going to have to come down and sit in front of you.
Yeah,
but there's a new Parliament album.
Yeah,
I don't know if you want to talk about that, but also
Medicaid fraud, dog. So, you know, we started Shake the Gate off, you know, yourselves and myself at Red Bull
in Los Angeles.
And we got it started. I mean, I was planning on that album for a long time, but that kicked it off. Shake the Gate in the car.
Yep.
You know that actually that original session in Tally ended up becoming the part of the body of music that's our new album.
Oh yeah, which one is that now?
Yeah, this is the album we just finished. That I think 4 of these songs we started in Tally actually.
Oh yeah.
One of them with Ebony called Numb.
Okay, I do remember.
Yeah, one with Dayon and Ricky Tan and Freaky Neek.
I remember that stuff now.
Yeah, so this was a big part of our development as musicians. So I mean, Tally, like how do you feel about that studio? How's that built up?
That's getting ready to blow all the way up, because we got a lot of stuff coming out of that now. We're doing one album also with Flying Lotus, that. So it'll be lots of traffic between New York, Tallahassee, Los Angeles, and around the country. It's going to be lots of music coming out of that studio.
People actually always ask how you ended up in Tallahassee. I know that's a good story.
Well, I stay out of trouble. You don't get into too much trouble. You may be late coming from a fishing trip. That's about all you're going to do. Can't get in too much trouble there.
Well, just to go back to these albums, I understand, talking to Chuck Fishman, that you've also signed something for an upcoming solo George Clinton album.
But that's the one that's Flying Lotus.
That's the Flying Lotus. So Flying Lotus is going to produce...
Brain Feeders, yes.
Okay.
I got another Parliament album, which is a whole nother thing.
2 Parliament albums.
Just one Parliament
One
album.
Parliament album.
And one George Clinton.
One George Clinton. So
and George Clinton is the one with Flying Lotus.
So as someone that's been following your music for a long time and listening to the different bands, Funkadelic, Parliament, George Clinton, I mean, there's so many more. But out of those 3, how do you differentiate sonically in 2016 between the 3?
You'll be able to hear because you'll recognize the Parliament horn sounds and the vocals of Parliament very easy. You remember that era as opposed to what we just did as Funkadelic. You'll be able to tell right away, oh, I recall that sound right there.
The George Clinton stuff was always about electronic drums to me. That was like a very...
Yeah, that was the era from Atomic Dog, which is the first album of George Clinton.
Yeah.
Through all the rest of them. That was the electronic music, even with the stuff with Prince.
Yeah.
Smell My Finger. But Parliament nowadays, all of it's got both live, everything, and computerized stuff together, mixed. Pretty much representative of what's happening today with pretty much everybody. But not with that much funk. We got a lot of funk in this shit.
Yeah.
You did, speaking of Flying Lotus, you did the that Brain Feeder show at Hollywood Bowl, right?
Yeah.
How was that? What was the response like?
That was great. There was so many people there. It's such a weird, brand new audience for us. It was like, wow. The whole, we saw Herbie Hancock's. He's also with...
Was he on the show? Or was he hanging out?
He's part of Brain Feeders.
Oh, damn.
They're producing him, too.
Wow.
It's a real mixture of jazz and electronic, DJ and live music with Thundercat and a few other jazz musicians they got. Yeah.
I have one closing question. Is there anything else you want to... All right, so my question is, and I don't know if you're comfortable going on record with this, but Shake the Gate, from our understanding about Stargate, I know there's Seagate. I don't know if that connects to underwater stuff, but I'm wondering if you're willing in 2016 to talk about extraterrestrials, any experiences, any premonitions, any connections. What the hell's going on
I'm just saying,
in outer space?
I'm just going to say, we are here. We are here. We are here. That's all I got to say about that.
All right, so no messages to above. You want to send any messages in case anyone's listening?
Yeah. Contemplate that.
All right, thank you, George.
Hi, I'm Elia Einhorn, and you've been listening to George Clinton and Soul Clap on the Talkhouse Music Podcast. Subscribe to Talkhouse Music and Talkhouse Film podcasts on Stitcher or iTunes. Today's show is recorded by Soulclap and mixed by Mark Yoshizumi. Upcoming episodes include the Arcade Fire's Will Butler with Wyclef Jean discussing the Fugees' album The Score on its 20th anniversary, and actor-musician Penn Badgley speaking with D'Angelo co-writer and vocalist Kendra Foster. Till next time,